Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending this webinar with X-Rite and Phoenix Technology. We're just going to take 5 minutes just to give everybody the chance to connect and make sure that they can get onto the webinar. You know what it's like sometimes with connections and downloading things. So we're just going to give everybody 5 minutes. So please stay with us, and we'll see that other people can attend. And in 5 minutes, we will begin. Thank you. I think we've got another couple of people just trying to log on as well. So we'll just give it 2 more minutes and then we'll start. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much for your patience. Just waiting for so we just get some time just for people to perhaps get onto something that they've not gone before. So yeah, thank you for your patience, and I'll pass you over to Mr. Afzal from Phoenix just to start today's webinar. Afzal.
Thank you very much, Martin. I hope I'm audible to everyone. My name is Afzal Kotal. I'm from Phoenix Color Technologies. I think some of you know me already. I'm here with my colleague, Mr. Pramod Haridasan, who's our technical engineer, and the team from X-Rite. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to the series of knowledge transfer webinars, which we are doing together with our esteemed partner, Ms. X-Rite Pantone. We are also happy to see so many participants for our webinars, which encourages us to continue with these knowledge transfer seminars. We used to do these webinars prior to the pandemic in Dubai every quarter with live interactive sessions. I'm sure some of you would have attended the same, but in order not to stop this initiative, we are now doing this over the web. We have planned 4 webinars in this quarter. We finished 2 of them. I'm sure some of you attended the same. The first one was on how to use exact spectrophotometer to its optimal capabilities in offset flexo and gravure. And the second one we did was about how to modernize your ink kitchen using X-Rite's ink formulation software and the accessories. Today we'll be taking you through the X-Rite scanning solutions to automate your press room in offset. We will be doing possibly another one in the next quarter for how to use the same for flexo and gravure. We'll be speaking about automating with the scanner from X-Rite as well as a SIP3 closed loop from Rutherford, who's a partner of X-Rite. Our last webinar, which is planned after 2 weeks, is basically going to focus on how to print for brand owners as per the expectations. Now I'm handing over to Mr. Martin, who's our regional sales manager from X-Rite, to speak about our partnership and further plans. Thank you, Martin. Over to you, Martin.
Thank you, Afzal. So we've got, I'll give you a little introduction about the relationship between Phoenix and X-Rite, and then Afzal will take you through the theoretical part of it, and then we'll have a more practical part of it from Pramod. Can I please ask you to have any questions that you might have through the webinar to put them in the chat function, which is in your top right hand side drop down menu. So please put your questions within there. If we've got time at the end, we'll come to some of those. If not, all questions will be answered by an email from the team at Phoenix. Thank you very much. Okay, next one, please. So for more than 10 years now, Phoenix and X-Rite have a long history of successful cooperation in the Middle East Africa region. Now, this success has been built on superior products for the colour industry, and today's particular webinar excites me because this is really something that X-Rite excel at, and particularly with the IntelliTrax, I think it really is the jewel in the crown of X-Rite's product portfolio. And we combine that though with the sales and technical excellence of the Phoenix team. Phoenix are the exclusive distributor for the complete X-Rite range of products in the region, and with this feature, they are best placed to validate your current workflows and propose solutions, not just particular items, but solutions that will achieve the maximum value. As Afzal said, last year COVID changed the world and the way we have to do business. So now we're doing this with a webinar approach, which we also call distance education. And through this, we can respect everybody's health of our colleagues and our customers. Thank you very much on behalf of X-Rite for participating in this. And I will now pass you over to Afzal to take you through the theoretical part of the presentation. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Martin, for your kind words and encouragement. We look forward to many more years of success together and supporting customers. I would also like to thank Malgo and Ahmed for the support from marketing department, as well as Rahil from Phoenix for setting up this webinar nice and well for us. Thank you, Malgo, Ahmed, and Rahil. So Malgo, yeah. So in simple terms, what X-Rite automated scanning solutions are used for is to scan an entire color bar automatically and fast, in comparison to using a manual handheld spectrophotometer and measuring the sheet across, because it takes too long and it is almost impossible for operator to reach the delta E targets using a spectrophotometer handheld, and reaching today's delta E target set by brand owners, which is below delta E 2.5. We will go into more details of that over the presentation. Also, once you scan, the system gives you an instant feedback on where you are with the printed sheet results, with reference to your target values, and how you can go closer to the targets. The solution, over many case studies at implementations we have done with the scanning solutions, we can assure you that you will reduce wastage and shorten your make ready by over 40%. In the last 3 years, we would have done more than 50 plus implementations of the scanning systems across the region. You can also integrate our scanning solution directly to the ColorCert scorecard or the G7 specifications data. You can collect the G7 specification data to review how your press is performing on each job. The next slide, please. We basically have segmented our solutions into 2 levels. One is basically the solution which includes a hardware called the IntelliTrax2, which is a high-end scanning solution specifically for packaging converters who are having a 24-hour shift with multiple make-readies and with heavy workload. This is a very solid and robust system which can run in high production environments. IntelliTrax2. The IntelliTrax2 basically is a non-contact measuring device. That means the head will not touch the color patches. So it's very accurate. It can measure a color bar which is around 2 mm. Most of the old versions of scanning systems might be, you have an old press, you might see a scanning system on top of it, sometimes working, sometimes not working. They need around 5 mm color bar on top and 2 mm of white around. The IntelliTrax scanner also has a look ahead sensor. That means if you drop the sheet on the scanning table, it will automatically detect the color bar. That means you don't have to keep it straight. You can have a tilt of around 10 to 15 mm on the sheet position. But still, because of the look ahead sensor, it can actually detect the color bar. It also eliminates smudging and scratching because, as I said, it's a non-contact measurement device. I hope you can see on the screen the IntelliTrax spectrophotometer on the right side. The track basically is same for this model, this solution, as well as the slightly cost-effective model, which is the exact spectro scan solution. But the head is different. You can see this head is in a rectangular box in the center of the track. And it also comes with a software to display the readings for the operator to see the current situation of the printed sheet. The next slide, Margot. The second solution, as I said, is an exact auto scan based scanning solution. This is also good for packaging converters with slightly lower volumes, or if you have a budget constraint, you can look at this option. It uses the exact spectrophotometer and it is loaded onto the scan base, and it basically scans the color bar. The IntelliTrax takes around 10 seconds to scan a 100 by 70 sheet, whereas exact auto scan takes around 15 seconds. The output from both the devices are exactly the same, the exact and the IntelliTrax Spectro. but if because it's a contact measurement tool, possibly the color patches can get a little bit deviation when you scan the same sheet second time. It increases, it basically also needs a 3 mm color bar compared to a 2 mm color bar on the IntelliTrax scanner. This is a contact-based measurement device, as I said earlier. The advantage over this over the IntelliTrax will be you can remove the head and measure the spots if you don't have an exact spectrophotometer separately along with the IntelliTrax. It also can be integrated with all the current workflows of color cert, or if you want to use it with for a G7 based workflow as well. So the cost difference between both are there. You can contact us to know what is the difference in cost, or if you have any doubts on how much different both are. I have explained it, but if you have any doubts, you can contact us separately. We will be happy, or you can ask the questions on the chat. We can answer in the end of the seminar. So here you can see both the device, top and bottom. The top one is the IntelliTrax. The bottom one is the X-Rite auto scan. The software and the interface to the presses for automation are exactly the same. Only the head part and some of the features on the hardware changes. The new IntelliTrax Pro 2 and X-Rite auto scan provides seamless integration once again with the color cert suite and the G7 press control system certification. That means if you have IntelliTrax already, which is version 1.0 or something, you can upgrade it to the IntelliTrax2 Pro version, or you can do that and you can get these new features along with that. We will explain how to upgrade and where to upgrade from, etc. in the end of this webinar in one of the last slides. Why do we need the scanning solution, and why is it becoming more important today? Brand owners, local and international, are all basically focusing on getting their colors right when it is printed in your printing and packaging company or in another country somewhere else in the world. So all the brand owners, most of the brand owners are now aware that they need their brand identity to be maintained when it reaches the shelf. Now they have started setting up their targets and tolerances for printers to follow. Imagine your printer without a scanner has to make sure that all the patches of cyan, which is around 32 on a Heidelberg press, magenta, yellow and black, which is almost 128 patches, to be within tolerance. If you give them a spectrophotometer alone, it is a very difficult task. It will make you lose a lot of time and material. So this is where IntelliTrax scanner or the X-Rite auto scanner comes inside and helps the industry to get the results as required with split seconds. And this will help you and your brand owners to have a better relationship in terms of quality and productivity. As I said earlier, we have from X-Rite total color solution, which is where with this, what I mean is you can start the job by taking the color data in the prepress from a repository server, which is from X-Rite Color Cert. So the digital data is provided to the prepress for understanding what colors has to be involved in the job, whether it's CMYK or Pantones, and its targets and its tolerances, etc. For proofing, you can use the same data. You can use the same data in the ink room. You can use the same data in the press room. And each of these departments can measure their outputs and save it so that it becomes loaded onto the Scorecard server from X-Rite Color Cert solution. That means you use the same data across the operations from pre-press to ink room to press room, and you also have an option to check if each of these departments have carried out their task within the delta E tolerances allowed. We will have a more detailed seminar on this in the next session. I think we'll send out the invites very soon. I would request you all to attend. It is very important as professionals for you to know how X-Rite and brand owners are basically making the new ways of working to improve productivity and profits. The software IntelliTrax comes with, or the AutoScan Pro comes with, is called the Pro software, which has some very nice features compared to the old version. You can scan a sheet alone and you can see the score. You can see how much you have scored, whether it is 50%, 60% or 95%. You can check how you have fared on the primaries, on the undertones, on the dot gain, and also on the overprints and gray balance, etc. You can also, why this scoring is very good, because what we felt is if you have the scoring, the operators will have a very healthy competition between themselves to see the scores are being good for them, as well as it's an opportunity for them to show the management that they're faring well in production and producing the jobs within the specs. The second is you can take these readings and make a job-based report, which is basically showing the same data, where the primaries were doing well, the undertones were doing well, the dot gains are okay, the gray balance and the overprints are within the tolerance. And you can get a score for the total job, as well as you can print this whole thing as a report and save it as a PDF and submit it to your ERP or print out and keep it in your records to see how that job was produced, who produced that, and how was the score. So this all helps you to basically ensure that each department which is involved in a particular job or the press room has done it within tolerance or not on a daily basis. The next slide, please. You can also submit this to the scorecard server, as I said earlier. So that means you can see the trend on how operator 1, operator 2, or the customer wise, you can see how their jobs are being produced within tolerance or out of tolerance, what was the score, etc., with a color cert scorecard solution. The ID Alliance G7 is coming very prominent now, because if you are a printer and if you have an ID Alliance G7's print master certification, brand owners can be more confident on you. It is slowly picking up in other parts of the world. I'm sure it's slowly coming to this part as well. This will ensure that the printer is able to capably handling the CMYK, and also they're coming with some OGB specifications like the spot color, tonal values, etc. So this certification can be supported by our scanning solution, because it has got complete specifications of G7 inside. So when you print a job, you can check if it is within the tolerances of G7. Whether you're targeting your certification, if you want to do a certification, you can go for a G7 certification called as gray or gray based, or you can go for the targeted or the full color space certification. All these certifications can be verified with the IntelliTrax scanning system automatically. If you need more details on how to get yourself certified, you can contact us, because we are the G7 certification partners for the Middle East as well from Phoenix. The next slide, Margot. The ID Alliance G7 reports can be seen on or ISO 12647 reports, or if you're printing for a brand like Procter & Gamble or Pepsi or let's say Almarai, you can get the reports in a graphical method. So it's easy for the QC department to understand how the primaries and the dot gains and the trapping, etc., worked during the production run. This is a new feature. So if you have the old version of the software, if you're already an IntelliTrax or an Exact AutoScan user, you can upgrade your software to get these features. You can also print a report, and you can also get a label which you can put on the job or to submit. When you're submitting an OK sheet to the customer, you can stick a sticker saying it's passed the G7 specifications or the ISO specifications. The software solution with the scanner comes with a connected workflow for quality control reporting. Means you have the on-screen reports which I showed you, you have the scoring possibilities, you have the G7 compliance verification or the PSO readiness, you have a seamless connectivity with the scorecard of the color cert solution. As I said, this will be explained in our next webinar on how you can check your pre-press, your proofing, your ink room and your press room behaved in a particular job or produced in a particular job, and whether it's within the tolerances. We will be speaking in the next webinar, but this is about the seamless connectivity. It is also totally integrated with the Pantone live libraries. That means most of the brand owners are now telling you to follow some Pantone live library colors, so you can connect it directly from the IntelliTrax to these Pantone live libraries. One of the best features with the IntelliTrax scanning solution or the AutoScan scanning solution is the best match function, which will allow you to see if the inks, let's say you have a violet color to produce in the press, the operator can scan the color patch and it will tell him what is the current LAB, delta E, and whether how much he can increase or decrease the densities to hit within the tolerances of 2.5, or he cannot hit. That means he has to change the inks. So it's easy way of understanding if the ink supplied by the ink room is perfect to be within the tolerance. Otherwise, he has to immediately shift instead of doing a trial and error and losing a lot of material time. And all this comes from X-Rite Pantone, who is a world-leading supplier for color measurements and quality control softwares. The upgrade paths to Pro solutions. If you have an IntelliTrax2 or an exact auto scan with InKey control, you can purchase the Pro software so you can get those new features of integration with the color search solutions, the option to print with reference to G7, or uploading the data to the Scorecard Server, etc. So if you're interested, you can let us know. We will be happy to share you the proposals. If you have an IntelliTrax version 1, you can upgrade using the do it yourself upgrade, where you have to send your head of the IntelliTrax back, and you can keep the track with you, and we'll supply you with a new IntelliTrax head. If you have a version 1 revision A before 2009, then you have to replace the complete system to get these new features by way of a trade-in offer, which is very attractive from X-Rite. The next slide. And why, for people who already, I said we have almost 50 plus IntelliTrax and auto scans in the market. If anybody wants to upgrade, why do you need to upgrade is explained here. You can upgrade for the benefits of connecting your IntelliTrax to the color cert solution, which is becoming a tool which is embraced by the brand owners. So if any of your brand owners using color cert and they want you to give the data back to them, you can upgrade your IntelliTrax and send the data back directly to their Scorecard servers. It is also fully integrated with the Pantone Live workflow. It can also be connected to the net profiler to check if your IntelliTrax is within the tolerance of calibration throughout the year. It also can be integrated with your other workflows, like, as I said, your ERP, to send the data of the score of the report or whatever to the ERP system. And currently Windows is also stopping their support for the older operating system. So this basically helps you to install the softwares in the Windows 10 version of operating system. The service and support, I would like to inform you of IntelliTrax 1 is discontinued by X-Rite. If anybody has the old version, please contact us to get an upgrade done. The additional features is G7 process control certification from the IntelliTrax inside, and or the PSO process control verification. And it also supports the M1 measurement mode for measuring on substrate with OBA or optical brightness. Margot? Yeah. You can also add the closed loop solution. So I spoke about the scanner. The scanner basically scans the sheet and shows you the current measurement with reference to your target and gives you guidance on how to adjust it by way of a display. Then the operator has to adjust the keys by himself. But you can further automate the system by us providing you with a SIP3 and the closed loop solution. With the SIP3 solution, we basically make sure that the CTP data is directly taken onto your press. So the preset is done automatically. That means your operator need not do the ink preset by looking at the plates, which takes almost 10 minutes. And then even if he does it, it will not be as accurate as the system, because our system also has a machine learning capability, which basically adapts the ink preset data based on the ink key's performance. That means if your ink key 16 is not working to the best of its performance, it understands it needs a little bit more feed than what is as per standard to get the right colors. With this, we have been able to prove to customers that there is a tremendous improvement in make-ready time and in the wastage, almost 30 to 60% as per X-Rite's global records. For us, it's also almost the same. If you have to print for a brand owner within Delta E 2.5, if you do it manually, I'm almost sure that you take 600 to 800 sheets. But with a scanning solution with SIP3 closed loop, you will not take more than 300 to 400 impressions. The best return, it has a very good return of investment. We have seen on a press normally 6 to 8 months that you get the money back, and further you save every month almost 1/6 of the investment continuing further. Other benefit is you are going to give excellent quality to your customer across in the beginning of the job, the OK sheet to the end, you will have the same quality and within the tolerances. We can connect with almost all the presses, even 2021 presses we have connected, 2020 presses we have connected. We have even connected 90 presses as well for this scanning and automated SIP3 and closed loop solution. So it helps you also to show your customers how serious you are about quality and how you maintain it. This will help you in the market to be looked upon as a quality printer. If you need more information, there are some links which is mentioned here. We will share it in the end of the seminar, possibly. You can click and you can read you can read about it. You can check your ROIs. We have an ROI calculator which we can share with you. You can put your own data to see how fast you can get the money back. So what is in our solution? It helps you to make faster make ready. It reduces the cost of substrates and inks. Today, with substrate costs almost hitting 50% more cost because of the pandemic, I think every sheet saved is important. We are talking about every make ready saving at least 150 to 200 sheets or boards which you print, which is almost $30, $40 in every make ready, only from the machine material. You can add on your time of machine and resources, that will be extra cost. You can have excellent quality across the print run within the tolerances, and you can get a feedback from the system whether your operators have been producing the jobs within the tolerances for all your customers. Thank you very much, Margot. I would now request Mr. Pramod, who's on the call, to show the video. If somebody, so people can see how it works. Thank you.
Thank you, Afzal. Please don't forget to, if you've got any questions that are coming up in the meantime, can you please use the chat function in the side? Just type your messages in there and we'll pick them up and get onto them after Pramod has done his practical part. Thank you very much.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Afzal. Thank you, Martin, for the introduction and the theory part. So I will take you all through the practical side. We are limited to show you the practical, exactly the real practical side. So we will show you some recordings we have. I will explain the recordings for you. So before going to the solutions, I would like to ask you one question. Traditionally, how we are measuring? So traditionally, we are measuring, for example, if you have a you need a spectrophotometer, basically that is the minimum requirement. So if you have a spectrophotometer and you have a under 70 sheet, so for example there is 32 ink keys on your machine and 4 colors, so it is around 128 patch. So if you willing to measure each patch, it will take around 15 minutes to measure the single sheet. So I know no one will measure the 128 patch and they will not correct based on this 128 patch. So what we will do, we will skip some patches. So we will skip some patches in between. We'll measure 1, 2, 3 like that. We'll take 5 measurements of each colors, and the remaining you will judge. So if this key is behaving like this, so the in between key will be the same way. So this is like a judgment, and it is considered as a non-standard way of approach. So when we come to a solution, as Afzal explained, we have 2 solutions, so 2 scanning solutions. One is X-Rite Auto Scan, and another one is IntelliTrax2. So I will show you how it is going to work. So I have some recordings with me. So hope everyone can see my screen. If not, just put a message in the chat window. And if any questions, you can add at the same time on the chat window. So I will first I will show you what is how an X-Rite Auto Scan is working. So X-Rite Auto Scan, it's like a normal spectrophotometer, and this is what our normal X-Rite. Then you have to fold the target window, lock the device, and you can keep a charging back in. So keep the charging back and keep it in the holder. So you can lock this device into the holder. So simply we can align this device with the color bar. So to align with the color bar, there is a laser source. So if you press on the pedal, the laser will activate. So you can align your color bar based on the laser light. So in X-Rite auto scan, you have to align it manually. In the beginning of every job, you have to align. So once you align for a particular job, you can measure the remaining sheets. So once you align, you can we will give you a magnetic strip to position the paper. So like this, we can keep a magnetic strip, or we can additionally we can use vacuum pump. So if you are printing a paper below 80 GSM or 80 GSM, it will be always better if you are adding a vacuum pump into the system. So it will measure within 10 seconds, and it will go back to the old position. So it will give you the data on this inky interface. This is the interface of scanning solution. So here we can analyze the values. So if you we are giving something like some magnetic holders like this. So once you set initially, you don't want to set it again for the entire job. You can just align. So it will automatically align with the laser light. And the another advantage of X-Rite auto scan, you can put color bar anywhere of the sheet. For example, in this video, you can see this color bar located in the center part. So we can keep the sheet like this. We can pull the sheet inside, and you can align the center part with the laser. So it will measure the center part. This is one of the key advantage of X-Rite auto scan. So another advantage, like Afsal said, we can use this device as handheld, and you can use this for the manual measurement as well. So you can disconnect it from the holder and keep the target window onto the position, and you can directly measure the patches as well. So these measurement also you can integrate with the software interface with the Bluetooth connection. We can ensure the measurement by hand also. So this is how an X-Rite auto scan is working. So when it comes to IntelliTrax, the same way. Here you don't want to align it with any laser light. So it will automatically detect your color bar. It will automatically align the head based on your color bar. So the key advantage, you don't want to wait for each sheet measurement for a long time. You can measure it in 10 seconds. It will reduce your make ready. It will give your overall performance stable. So within a 10 seconds, you can measure under 70 sheet. So this is the way it is measuring, and it is a non-contact measurement. In auto scan, it is a contact measurement. So in this case, you don't want to worry about the scuffing or scratch. And another key advantage is it is connected to the. You can use this device with the M1 measurement mode, and we can use TED profiler to calibrate the device, and it will ensure your device stability. And it is connected with the Pantone lay. I'm talking about the IntelliTrax2, the latest version. It's connecting with the Pantone lay, and there is a interface with the color set. So color set, it's a software for the quality control software. So we have a session upcoming in the next week. So we will send you a link. So the colors, there is a link between IntelliTrax and color set. So it will give you a measurement data to the color set. So this is what the interface of after measurement. So based on this interface, you can adjust the colors, and it is showing best match as well. So there are some upgrade options. If you are using IntelliTrax, the first generation, you can convert into IntelliTrax2. So you can simply change the head if you are using device after 2009. And if it is before 2009, you have to change the entire assembly. So this way, the IntelliTrax scanner is working. So this is just about the scanning solution. So if you can only buy the scanning solution, or you can buy with the SIP3 closed loop system. So if you have only the scanning system, you have to scan and you have to analyze the display, then you have to manually adjust. So when it comes to a closed loop system, we should first discuss about what is zip3 file and how it is working. So I have a video here. So I think all of you have heard about zip3. zip3 is the file which we are receiving from the prepress, so which is generating from your RIP software, and which includes the color, targets, and the operations included in the job. So this file you can access from a folder which is located in the prepress. So here you can see that this folder located in the prepress. So you can access the file. So either you can search or you can enter the job number. You can inspect the job in this way. You can inspect the entire color and you can inspect individual colors. So this way you can inspect the individual colors. So once you inspect the colors, you can use this data for the job printing. So click on use job. So it will ask you to select each unit. So you can select each unit. So this way you can assign your unit. So this is for the first time. If it is a repeat job, you can save this configuration and you can utilize it. So once you assign, you can see the preview of preset. So usually you can see if you go to your production, you can see your operator is keep all the plates into the console and he is adjusting by his experience. He is adjusting his ink keys by his experience. So if you compare two operators, the two operators preset will be different. So this is like if they took one plate around 2 minutes. If you have 6 plates, it will take around 12 minutes for a job. So if you have 6 make ready in a day, so you will simply save 6 hours because of the automatic preset. So in this system, it will automatically controls your ink key based on the image. So here you can see that if you click on each color, the preset we can see here. So here you can see that in this area cyan having work, so it is controlling the ink keys over there. And one more advantage, if your ink key having any issue like wear and tear or any issue with your ink key, it will learn from your job. So it will learn for minimum of 5 jobs. Then the system can understand how the ink key is behaving. Based on your ink key behavior, it will adjust. Maybe it will open more or it will reduce or it will close it. It will not release the inks like an operator doing. So it is avoiding the operator errors and operator to operator difference. There is a standard preset from the zip3 file. It is loading into the machine. So this way you can check the preset. So then you can send this data into your machine. So to send this data, we need an interface. That interface we will provide based on each machine. So if you have a doubt related to these parts, you can ask and we will come back to you with the reply. So once you send this data, the ink is automatically controlled by the software and the ink is managed according to our image. So this is how a zip3 is working. So I will explain how a closed loop is working. So once you send this data into a machine, so the ink keys are adjusted. So now we have to print 100 or 150 sheets. Then you have to scan. So based on the preset, it will almost on a first attempt you will get more than 80%. So scan the sheet. So here you can see there are some green patches, yellow patches, and red patches. So the green indicating the patches are within tolerance. So yellow indicating the patches are just within the tolerance, and red indicating out of tolerance. So once the scanning done, you can send this correction into the machine. So the red one and the yellow one, it is the red one ink keys will adjust automatically by the software. So once you confirm from the interface, the correction will happen on your machine. So again, print another 100 sheet, you will get all the ink keys in green. So this is how a closed loop is working. So everyone is clear with what is a scanning solution and how the SIP3 is loading and how a closed loop is working. So if you have any questions, you can type on the chat window on the right side of the right side. You can see the chat window. Right side bottom, you can see the chat. You can enter the chat. So we will answer. So that's it. Malgo, you can change back to Afsal.
Margot, can you hear us? Yeah, Margot, I think, yeah, just to give you a conclusion based on some case studies which we have done. I think in the beginning we used to, when we started this talking to customers about improving quality, productivity and reducing wastage, they definitely had doubts because many of the printers do not have real-time shop floor data. So what we did was we used to go to the presses. One of our engineers used to go to the presses taking a scanner, and we used to tell them we will monitor 3 days of job, and based on that we took data basically which was collected where they were doing everything manually. They used to load the ink preset manually. They used to adjust the color values by measuring with the spectrophotometer, and then they used to adjust during the run also manually. So after that, what we did was we took our system, we implemented the scanner and the SIP3 and the closed loop on a demo mode, and we did the same process for 3 days, and we took the output. And what we found that is how we sold 50 plus, and 50 plus units is quite a good number in 3 to 4 years. I mean, it's I'm sure Martin will agree on that. And we had also customers like Majan, like Medat, like Alkat, most of the print and packaging converters in UAE, and many of them in Saudi, like Obey Khan, like IPC, like Jamjoom. What they did was they took one first, they tested it, and they found the results like what I'm showing you here, and they went on to putting on to 5 or 6 machines that they had. Even they had replaced their existing scanning systems, which was like 5-6 years and redundant. I mean, it was not working. So what is the data saying? The data says, let's say you can start with only a scanner. You can buy from us only a scanner with the display software. You can buy a scanner with display software and SIP3. So, and you do the manual color correction across the run of the job, or you buy the scanner, the SIP3 and the closed loop. Now I have here 2 small case study conclusions. So normally if you are doing, let's say manually, the preset of the plates, that means you take the plate, you put it on the table, you set the keys of cyan, magenta, yellow, black, 32 keys. That is 128 keys of all the colors. The operator takes approximately 10 minutes, for example, to set it up, to take the plate on the machine, keep it there, and then set the keys, and then go to the machine and load the plates. But with our system, with the SIP3, it becomes almost 10 seconds because the job preset is already there available for the operator, like Pramod showed. He can click a button and that gets loaded onto the press. In 10 seconds, the preset is done. And then once he runs around 100 sheets, he basically takes the sheet, he basically measures it manually, let's say. It takes another 10 minutes for him to measure and see the values and then start correcting. If you have the scanner, it scans within 10 seconds again, and it shows him the results. So basically, we were seeing almost 20 to 30 minutes of time saving. We were also seeing, because the SIP3 data is very accurate with what the press's capabilities are. So if you have, let's say, a key number 14, which is not opening up as much as you want because of wear and tear, our system will automatically put a little more ink into that key, because it knows by learning method that the key number 14, key number 12, or key number 30 has some issues. It will adjust the key feeding based on that. So your ink feeding is accurate compared to a manual ink feed, because when you give the same plate to 2 operators, both of them will set it differently because it is manually calculated. So it's not easy. So the system gives you advantage of 10 minutes over the presetting time. You will be almost 85% close to the target values with the SIP3 data. And then if you have the closed loop, you save because you do almost 4 to 5 corrections in the run. Every run correction, they take around 5 to 10 minutes. That again is reduced. So in total, you save. We have customers who were taking, for example, to print for a brand owner, which is a good brand owner, or if you're a very quality conscious customer and who want to print within delta E tolerance, they were taking almost 600 sheets. I'm saying 600 sheets or impressions, basically to get the delta E's within tolerance. Even after that, they were seeing that they were at, when the OK sheet was coming, we were scanning those, we were getting a score of 59, sometimes 79, and after 79, it will go to 65 because it's all manually adjusted. But with our system, you will be at OK sheet almost, when you have the OK sheet, which is achieved in 350 boards, you are within 95% of the targets. And across the run, you are within the tolerance. So what you save is the time, you save material of almost 150 to 200 boards, and you have the highest levels of quality and repeatability. In principle, what we are talking about is if you go to the ROI sheet, if you have only the auto scan with SIP3, you will get the money back in 4 to 5 months. And if you are taking a IntelliTrax with SIP3 closed loop for a high productivity machine, you will basically have the return of investment in 6 to 7 months. You can also contact us to put your own values. We have to be true to each other to get the values inside. So you say your per make ready, if you want to hit the tolerances of 2.5, you'll take 600 boards, 700 boards, or 400. It can be varying for you. So if you give us the data, we can put it inside. We can see how much time you take, how many sheets you take, what is your quality levels, and we can give you build an ROI sheet for you to show it to your management to get an approval for this project. That is basically where I would like to conclude my part, and I would request Margot to go through the, because we are running short of time, I would like to conclude it and ask Margot to go through the question and answer and the polling sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Afzal. Thank you for letting time for some questions which we prepared together with Phoenix, and would like to ask you for answering these questions. There are 4 questions which you should answer only by clicking on your screen. I will launch the first one and you will understand what I'm talking about. There is our first question which we would like to ask you now. And if you can click on one of these answers, we will give you 30 seconds for answering it. Please click on it and you will get your answer here. I would like to kindly ask you to answer our questions by clicking on one of the answers. We have only 4 questions. And in the meantime, you can also write your questions on chat. Please write your question on chat because we would like to answer your questions, your conclusions, and we have experts here to be able to do it. I will ask you the next question. If you be so kind and answer one of these questions as well. I'll give you some seconds to answer the question. And please write your question on the chat. If you have questions or concerns or request to Phoenix, if you could be so kind and write your questions on chat and we'll answer them. I will launch the next question from our side. If you'd be so kind and answer again. Again, you have approximately 30 seconds to answer. Please be so kind and answer this question as well. Okay. And this is our last question. Again, 30 seconds, and I see we have questions from your side which we would like to answer as well. Can you please answer on it? Thank you very much. And Afzal, Martin, and Pramod, we have a question from the audience. Is any difference between SIP3 of our Roland and yours presented SIP3? If it's any difference between SIP3 of our Roland and presented and SIP3 presented by us.
Can I answer this one, Afzal?
Yep, you can.
SIP3 itself is just a generic file. So SIP3 is just the black and white data that comes from your output device. It's not the difference between SIP3. The difference is how you utilize SIP3 in the setup of the press. So the closed loop solution that Afzal's been talking about there, particularly with the Rutherford side, is how it learns from the SIP3. So the SIP3 is always presented in the same way. It's just how that SIP3 is interpreted into your ink keys, and the learning function within the Rutherford system enables to learn right across. If you've got 52 ink keys, it will learn over time how those 52 ink keys react. So the way it sets up and presents it to your press improves over time. So it improves, so it knows, whereas particularly I think with the Roland devices, it just says, here is SIP3, this is how it is, this is how it's been for the last 6 months, but your press has changed, your blankets have changed, your rollers have changed, your paper type makes an awful lot of difference. When you get into the packaging, your actual Pantone color depends on how you set up. Is it a light Pantone? Is it a dark Pantone? So I would suggest the SIP3 itself is not the data, it's how intelligently with the Rutherford system you present that to the press, and you learn as you go along, as you print every 5 jobs, where your press currently is today. And that's really the key to speeding up the setup of a press using this type of function, as opposed to the functions that come supplied with the press. And if, let's say, if you have a Roland press, you have a Heidelberg, you have a Komori, all 3 in one place, you will all have different results from setting up on your SIP3. So you put this thing in, you've got exactly the same reading device, you've got exactly the same setup, you've got exactly the same trading for all the same operators, and that would be what I would say on that.
Yeah, I would like to add to what Martin said. It also requires a complete audit of your process, from the pre-press to the proofing to the ink room to the press room, to standardize your process and set up for each paper type the correct density targets with reference to LAB, and the TDIs to be compensated in the CTP. So we do this whole process. We are not just giving you, if you buy from the print machine man, they will give you a scanner, and if your process is not streamlined, you will, even if you hit the right delta, the densities, your results will not match your expectation from the prepress or the sample of the prepress, the proof sample of the prepress.
Thank you very much, Afzal. It was a question from Mr. Kashif from Jamjun Printing and Packaging. And we have another question, 2 questions from one person. You said it may be workable on 90s machines. It is possible? And the second add to this question is, machine can achieve targets as it is, or this automation need to refurbish the press?
See, we need to check a few things. We can have some pictures clicked on the machine. We have small strips to be printed on the machine just to get some data about the machine, and then we can confirm if we can connect to the machines, for sure. Definitely, it requires us to do a check with them and give them a proper feedback. It's not just about the connection. We need to have a few more checks as well. But it's possible.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think you can come back to Phoenix personally and have a discussion in person, in addition to these answers which you have got. The next question is, can you share your presentation and videos with which you shared in this webinar after the session? First of all, the webinar is recorded, means you will get a recording, and if you wish, we can share the presentation with you for sure in PDF about videos you can talk with Phoenix, and the videos I think can be shared as well. Yeah, but the recording and the presentation can be shared with you for sure. Yeah. Okay, we have no more question at the moment, and we are 2 minutes out of time. Even we started longer, and I pass to Martin and Afsar for the conclusion and for the closing this session.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for attending. Thank you very much to Afzal, to Pramod for their excellent presentations. Thank you very much to Margot for helping organize all this and being in the backstage and helping us bring this webinar out to you. Particularly very impressed by all the presentations, and as you can see, this is something that X-Rite and particularly Phoenix excel at. As Afzal said, they've done 40 to 50 of these, and it just is one of the best things that X-Rite and Phoenix do together. Please, if you have any questions or you need any more, please come back to everybody. But from my point of view, from X-Rite point of view, thank you very much for attending, and I'll let you speak to Afzal for the last conclusions.
Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this webinar. And if you have any feedback, please contact us via email so we can adapt the content more, or we can have new contents which is of interest to you. We'll be happy to work on those content and provide you information. Thank you once again, everyone. We look forward to meeting you all soon in the next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
See you next webinar. Bye-bye.
Bye.